See, I guess it is that I really don't believe that we understand consciousness, and we don't understand its role in the cosmos. It could be that consciousness is just an epiphenomena of materialist processes, but there's a couple of things to me that seems to mitigate against that explanation. And the first is that we don't have an account of consciousness that's useful. We have no idea how the material substrate of the brain produces this awareness and self-awareness that seems to be crucially important in the existence of the cosmos, insofar as if there's nothing to experience something, it's very difficult to say in what way that it exists. You need a viewer and an observer, and scientists sort of gerrymander that by positing a hypothetical observer when they talk about phenomena where there is no actual observer. And so consciousness could be just an epiphenomena, but it could also be something central to the nature of being, and certainly mythological stories present it that way, that there's nature, that would be nurture from a scientific perspective, and there's the social world, that would be the great father from the mythological perspective, and that's all there is from a scientific perspective. But from a mythological perspective, there's active consciousness, and that's associated with the idea of the logos. And the logos seems to be something like, if you think about it as consciousness, it seems to be this thing that encounters the potential of future being and then determines, at least in part, how to shape it. Now, obviously, we're constrained in many ways. We can't shape things in any old way, but we can certainly advance in the direction of our imagination in quite a staggering and compelling manner. And then you might say, well, is that real? Is the idea that we have a consciousness and that it's free in some incomprehensible sense, and that it plays a role in constructing the cosmos, is that real? And then I would say, well, it depends on what you mean by real, but I would also point out that you act as if it's real, and that our functional legal systems, like the legal systems on the West, are predicated on the acceptance of its reality. And it was an idea that took many, many thousands of years to emerge. You know, first of all, the only sovereign was the king and God, and then the nobles became sovereign, and then men became sovereign, and then with the Christian Revolution, every individual soul became sovereign. And that idea of individual sovereignty and worth is the core presupposition of our legal system and our cultural systems. And so we all walk around acting as if every one of us is a divine center of logos, because we give each other the respect of individual citizens who are sovereign and that are equal before the law. And the funny thing is if someone doesn't treat you that way, it treats you as if your free will is an illusion, or refuses to regard you as someone who plays an active part in choosing the outcome of their life, then you get very, very annoyed. And so if it's an illusion, and perhaps it is, we don't understand an alternative to it, and it's unbelievably functional.